But we digress about that, and we're going to jump to the final topic, which you briefly touched on, Cole. Is this the best transfer class that Utah has ever had? I'll let you take the floor first.
I think that's an easy answer, and yes. I think every single one of the guys that have transferred into the program was better than any of the players that we lost. Like you said, we brought in a lot of talent, especially from some of the top programs in the nation. Utah didn't used to do that. When is the last time we did bring in a player, a top-tier player from a top program like LSU or Alabama? Schools that are consistently contending for national championships. Mm-hmm. I don't remember a time.
I don't either.
And, just kind of like what I was talking about. Utah went from a team on the rise with arguably the best defense in the conference this last year to the best defense in the conference and arguably the best offense with the running backs we've secured. And I'll let you, kind of talk about those guys and who we're really bringing in, and especially with the quarterback, quarterbacks that are going to be fighting for that top spot. This was easily the best transfer portal I think we've ever had, and it's setting Utah up for what I believe is going to, could be their first conference championship. I think the guys that have come in through the transfer portal and are being added to last year's team could potentially give Utah their best chance that they've ever had since joining the Pac-12 to win it all.
And I think it also helps that no one left. Like, no one graduated. Like, right. Devin Lloyd's coming back. Nick Ford's coming back. Brant Keithy's coming back. I think it's huge. But five transfers this cycle. Charlie Brewer, JQJ, TJ Pledger, Chris Curry, and Thursday night, we ended Brandon Cajo of Alabama. He was a four-star linebacker out of high school. Originally committed to BYU, then went to Washington, I think, got out of his NLI at Washington, and then ended up at Bama. And now he's here. We were in his top 5 when he was originally being recruited. So that's like, it's not like this is like a JQJ or a Pledger or a Curry situation where we weren't originally recruiting them, but then we saw them in the portal and we grabbed them.
Right.
So out of those 5 guys we have landed, 4 of them were 4-star recruits in high school. That's really good. I love that. I love that we're seeing this. And I think the biggest thing that this shows us, people are taking notice about Utah now. When you have back-to-back seasons where you are making, I'm discounting this season, because this season was weird. You have back-to-back seasons where you make it to the Pac-12 championship. People are going to take note. People are going to see Utah. They're going to be like, oh, what is this Utah team doing? What kind of football do they play? Because if you're competing against Oregon and Washington for a Pac-12 championship, you're probably pretty good. It helps Utah. And also it helps that Utah's fantastic at putting guys in the NFL. Huge. If you are known for putting kids in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball and you're a defensive player, you might want to look into Utah. You might want to just take a look, just experience Utah and see what it's going to be like. With the news of Nakua leaving, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if they try and grab a wide receiver out of the portal. Okay. Before the show, I was looking at the 24/7 transfer portal online. There's some pretty good options still available in that transfer portal at the wide receiver position. There's a couple from Washington State. There's one from Oregon. So there's guys that I think Utah could possibly swoop in and see. Utah's showing right now that they're going to be able to build a team with players from the transfer portal. The fact that we have Charlie Brewer, who finished his career at Baylor as one of the best quarterbacks in school history, should kind of say how Utah's selling the program.
Yeah.
And it's the best. This is the best.
Yeah, no, and I stand by just kind of what I said earlier. I really think that the team that's returning from last year, even though it was weird, I just think there's so much promise. It was obviously a weird year with COVID. There wasn't a spring training. There really wasn't that much of a fall camp. And the quarterback position just was a mess because of the injury and then just with the inconsistencies of Bentley. But they still finished the season with an above 500 record and won 3 straight. Mm-hmm. And the defense seemed to really get their act together. Yeah. And And I think a lot of the guys, like Devin Lloyd and Brant Keithy and those guys that probably could have put their names into the draft and left, especially Devin Lloyd, I think that they're staying because they see the opportunity that Utah is presenting itself. They see the opportunity to potentially be the first ever team at Utah to win a Pac.
Yeah,
exactly. And I really think that the transfers that they got are just going to be fantastic, and they're fitting, right? I mean, like we were talking about earlier, Utah is great at producing running back talent for being a smaller market school. They're not an Alabama. They're not an LSU. We technically, I think we're leveling up. We're getting there, but we're still considered one of the smaller level.
We're like a mid-tier P5 team.
Right, but we're producing talent, and we're producing it at the running back position. So we snagged 2 great running backs, and then as well with that addition from Alabama the other night, we put together a great draft class just last year for the NFL from our defense. And
here's the thing, I can understand why people were a little bit like, why did Utah grab another linebacker? Our linebacker room went from nothing to way too much, especially because you have Devin Lloyd and Nephi Sewell coming back. But here's the thing, and you also, I think they had 3 linebackers sign in this class of 2020. So you have a lot of linebackers now. You went from nothing to a lot.
Right.
It's about development and it's about productivity. Here's my take. I don't know if this is going to be considered a hot take or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if they shift Nephi back to safety because Richie is now on a mission, and then you have Hubert and Sewell as your safeties. You put Lloyd in as you keep Lloyd at linebacker, obviously, and then maybe you put Coho in there. Maybe you get Ethan Calvert up to that level. Like, I don't think that Utah knows what they're doing. This coaching staff knows what they're doing when it comes to bringing in like the pieces they need.
Definitely.
So I'm not like, I get why people were like, why are we wasting, or like not wasting, why are we using an extra scholarship spot on another linebacker? Like, what? There's no need for it. But the coaches obviously saw something because they were going after him and they asked him to join the program and he committed to Utah. So,
well, you have a 4-star recruit out of high school that's played at some top programs, especially Alabama. If they want to come, you don't say no to that.
Yeah. It's like,
you don't turn them away.
It's like, yes, he played a lot of special teams at Bama, but he still was there on Bama. And he was like, going to be in the, apparently he was like vying for some spots like preseason this year. Like, he has the talent, people like just.
Well, I think you have to replace Richie. I think that's a pretty blaring, loss.
Considering that Richie and I'm blanking. Oh, Tavita Fotu is, or not Tavita, Sione Fotu is going on a mission too, and he was a linebacker and he took some reps this season. Considering those are the only 2 pieces you're going to have to replace on your defense, you're pretty much in a good spot. You're pretty good.
Yeah.
But this is the best recruiting class Utah's had in the transfer portal, no doubt. There's no arguments. There's no arguments against it. Like,
well, it's come together so quickly.
Oh, like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 weeks it's been done. And I honestly, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Utah picks up a wide receiver now out of the portal. Grab somebody that we need the help. I think that adding hit like one wide receiver who has some in-game live experience will boost this young and unexperienced wide receiving room.
For sure.
So, well, sadly, that's all the time we have for today on Ute Dash. As always, you can find all of our shows, Utah, any other Pac-12 school you want to watch on our website, which is dashsports.tv.com. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at Dash Sports TV on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Cole and I, our Twitter handles are down below. You can follow us on our social medias. There's a lot of good stuff on there, a lot of jokes, a lot of good times. Cole, is there anything else you would like to add before we bid adieu to the fans?
I'm excited. Spring football.
Yeah, spring football's coming up. Let's go.
I'm excited.
It's going to be fun. So, Cole, what do we do, as always, when we get ready to dip out?
Go Utes, guys.
Go Utes.